Just waiting to see if everything's working correctly. Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're all doing all right. Now, I have a face tracking camera going on here, so I do this and then it will start, I think. Is this simple? No? Alright, hold on. I gotta fix it. Oh, come on. Alright, there it goes. So now it should follow me. Come this way. Come over here. Hi. This way. Come on. Come on. Oh, man. Surprisingly warm today. Probably not in most of the country. So how's everybody doing? Hope everyone's been having a good day, good weekend. Coming up. Wait, what's today? Holy crap, I'm lost. My watch is dead. That's convenient. Well, today's like Wednesday. Or Tuesday. Something like that. Freaking no. Somebody wanted me to go. No, I'm not drunk. Thank you. I do have coffee though. So I'm trying this new like get up for the camera. Trying it. Trust me, I'm trying it. And it's supposed to be where like if I move, it's supposed to follow me, but it's not. I don't know what it's doing. But at least it's holding the phone, right? Yeah, my camera. Yeah, if it does, it's because it's. I don't know what it's doing. Hold on. It's stuck again. I don't think it can see me. Let me try this. Right, hold on. This is some funny stuff. Okay. So, see? It's like losing me. It's like it's the light that it has that's providing isn't enough for it to track me. Let's see if we can give it a little bit more. Maybe that'll help it. There it goes. This thing is, wow. It's, definitely an Amazon product. Well, at least it's working. It is a little bit jerky. Not with the GoPro though. I think it's because this one's sort of a cheaper version. It doesn't have like a heavy gearing system in it. It's sort of small. So what it does is it sort of vibrates because of the weight of the phone. The GoPro not so much. If I have the GoPro on it does all right. So $30, not bad, I guess. If you're doing audio, yes, One Nation Under God. Welcome to the chat. Welcome everyone to the chat. Rock and roll. Welcome to the chat. I know CG. You're always welcome to the chat. You're always here. But yeah, I'm sort of just testing it out to see how it works. It's just funny to watch. It's like they have better ones that are heavier duty, and I think I'm probably going to end up investing in that once I actually get a decent camera. But it was while I'm doing this with the phone, I see no need to invest any more than that. Have I asked for money yet? You guys can, oh, that reminds me, you guys can join up, become a member, and do super chats. And make the Midnight Squirrel jealous. I know, it moves around like... Maybe I'll just stop it and leave it in one spot. Hold on. It does do hand gestures. Okay, so now it won't move. And the other one is to do the OK symbol, but apparently that's like racist now. So now I can't turn it back on. You guys can become members and donate, do whatever you want to do. We're here just to chat, and we're here to chat. If you like the content on my channel, that's totally fine. If not, we're here just to hang out, see how everyone's doing. Oh yes, thank you, my dear. I forget to mention that sometimes to people. Yeah, my job's done. So most people don't like that. They're like, quit begging, get a job. I'm like, I had a job. It was making sure that you had the freedom to be a dick. So that's why I didn't block you or throw you out when you said something stupid. I just figured, go ahead, chew on your own toes. It don't freaking matter to me. Fitness, Jesus does with everyone. And if everyone repented, there wouldn't be a lot of room up there for us. So, I'm telling you, I better be able to still make drones in heaven. I'm telling you right now. I want to make drones in heaven. It's definitely not going to be Chinese technology. That's for sure. Because it'll probably last. The whole eternity thing, you know. Any drone recommendations? Not DJI. No, you know, I couldn't tell you. Your best bet is to go on Get FPV and see what beginner packages they have. If you're doing FPV flight. If you're just trying to fly a drone to get used to flying a drone, get something small and cheap off Amazon. I got one of these right here just to fly around while I'm printing stuff because I'm building an A10 Warthog, which is getting huge, by the way. And I got one of these just for fun. You want a camera drone? You know, I would say get a DJI, but I think they're banned, aren't they? Are they banned right now? I'm not even sure. There you go. Anyway, I just got that to get used to flying around in the garage while I'm waiting for stuff to finish on the printer. I was told don't need FPV, so it's to get footage. Well, you don't need FPV to get footage. That's true. It's helpful if you're doing something, you know, if you're in close proximity, flying over a river, that kind of thing. You can still get footage line of sight, but you know, like if you've got a GoPro on and you're filming. But it's usually, as long as you have obstacle avoidance on the drone and you're not gonna hit anything, then you should get some decent footage. Now, those people where they're doing like they're going up and they're diving down waterfalls and stuff like that, you kind of have to FPV that one. You know, otherwise it's going for a swim. Are we talking about the how universal the controllers are for the DJI stuff, or just in general? Because most of the time, if it's a 2.4 gigahertz ELRS controller, like a Radio Master and stuff like that, you can have multiple models on it. So you can get one controller, one Radio Master, and you can go ahead and you can dump like, I think 10, 12 models on it. Probably more. I have a TX16S. So it's a 16 channel transmitter. I don't know how many models I can have on it. I know it's above 10, I think. And it doesn't matter how many drones that I build, as long as I have an independent ELRS receiver for that, then I can just bind it to the radio and fly whatever drone I want. Tell her will I fight Diddy or R. Kelly? Wow, that's an interesting question. I think getting Diddy in a headlock would be damn near impossible. because he's a slippery mother right now. I guarantee it. R. Kelly, I don't know. I wouldn't fight R. Kelly just because, like, you know, I imagine he's useful if you get stung by a jellyfish. But other than that, no, I wouldn't. What about Yee? What is that? I don't know what you're asking me. My fan blades, basically just Infusion 360 for the 340 millimeter, and that was just profiling. You just do the profile, and then you add your taper and your pitch along the cord of the blade, and then you run it through a CFD analysis and see where changes need to be made along the cord to make sure that you're getting that really aggressive. Mine are designed for really aggressive RPMs, which is why I'm having so much trouble finding a motor that can handle the actual disc loading on the blade itself. I look like your supervisor? What are you doing away from your desk? I'm just playing. Kanye. Sorry. That's okay. Does Colt need to go outside? Colt, come here. Don't get in the garbage. Listen to me. I have a husky who is a toddler. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Come here. Come here. He ain't gonna listen either because they don't listen. Stay out of the garbage. Do you want to go outside? Then go back in the house. Dude, don't stare at me with your ears back like that. I know that husky language. Yeah, I'm retired. Well, semi-retired. It's like, you know how it is with, any kind of benefits from the government. You're retired, but still trying desperately to survive. TP 4050. You want a 2100 kilowatt motor, 8 millimeter shaft. That's a pretty big motor, but the kV is too high. I'm running 18S, so 75 volts. I was running a 7070 that ran at 75 volts. It was a flip sky motor. It was a skateboard motor, which is what I was originally testing the engines on. And they did great at 48 volts, but when I tried to push the 75 volts through them, I burned both of them up. So I'm probably going to go with a probably an IP35 or something like that from Mad Components, because I have the Mad Components 120 amp AMPX 18S ESCs. But the problem with that is, if you're not those skateboard motors say they can handle 75, but that's their peak. I need something that can handle more than that, so I don't burn the motor up. So something that's a 24S, like maybe 12 to 24S, and then I can push 75. I can push 18 easy and not overamp it. The amps are 151. That's not too bad. But we're talking about disc loading on that fan. On that fan, a 2100 kilovolt motor is not going to work. It's a good idea in theory. I'd love to have the KV because the RPMs would be insane at 18S. But at this point, my target is around 12,000 RPMs, but it's more torque than RPMs that I'm looking for. And the reason why is because you have to absolutely have torque on these blades. It's a torque-hungry blade system. So the more power that it has rather than RPMs, the better off I'm going to be as far as pushing air and not overheating that motor. Back down to 6 of executive viewers. I swear, if I don't have a CNC machine up here, you guys aren't watching anything. There's one right behind me. and PCNCs I basically 3D printed. And then a friend of mine built a table for it and did some of the steel work and laser cutting and stuff like that. He just got his plasma table working. He's bringing me over a mini lathe too, so hopefully that'll help with making some gears. But because I had that 170 millimeter fan that I'm working on, and I'm using a 4-to-1 step up planetary gear ratio box that I put together, and I keep burning up the gear. Like the longest running gears that I was able to use that I 3D printed was the PA6. It was carbon fiber reinforced nylon, and it worked. That lasted a lot longer. I'm kind of wondering if the carbon fiber contributed to its demise. I'm wondering if it just straight nylon would work better, but yeah, we'll check out. I'll give you a call as soon as I'm doing this live because there was a guy that really, really wanted me to do the live. And he asked me if I could do a live, when I was going to do a live. I said, turn on your notifications, I'll do the live for you. He was wanting me to go live, so here I am. I don't see him yet. How ironic. So, yeah, I mean, if one subscriber asked me to do a live, yeah, I'll do one. No big deal. It's fun for me. Oh man, the funny, you know what's interesting about what happens around here in my neighborhood? Like, okay, there's a vacant winery across the street, early 1900s, right? About 5 acres that goes all the way down the side of the street. You can see it in some of my earlier videos of the Shrike concept drone that I did with the EDF, the 70 millimeter EDF drone. And I was flying it around, and you can see that whole complex over there. So anyway, I have to watch over that. I provide security for it. A lot of people tag in that place over there. And so I'm taking my family for a walk, just to walk around the block, get out of the house, stuff like that, because I'm behind the computer most of the time, either CADing or printing or trying to play Star Citizen. Aren't we all trying to play Star Citizen? Or Red Dead 2. But I'm walking around the block. My daughter's taking pictures of birds. She loves taking pictures of birds, right? And I'm 6'4". And what's interesting is I get back to, I know something's up. I can feel somebody watching me and following me. I know this. I was in the Army long enough. It's just something to tell. So I instead of walking just in front of my family while my wife's walking behind us and the kids are in the center, I switched around everybody. Got everybody in front of me and got to my house. 5 minutes later, some dude walks up to my front door and goes, "My wife said you were taking pictures of our house and we just wondered if you needed anything." I'm like, dude, my daughter was taking pictures of birds in the park across the street. I don't care what kind of tweaked out crap you're doing in your house, okay? But if you're going to follow someone all the way back, an armed vet, by the way, all the way back to their house to ask them why they're filming your house when all we're doing is taking pictures of birds, you put yourself in a dangerous situation to become fertilizer for my backyard. It's why the weed grows so quickly. So, well, I was carrying, at the time I had a Glock 26. That was what I was carrying. I have a 19 myself, but it's fun, Everyone looks at you funny if you walk outside with an SBR. So you have to kind of be careful. Sending love from North Korea. It'll miss. It'll splash down in the ocean. But thanks for trying. Why? Corpsaro. Why do you want a gun? It's just like the Second Amendment thing. You like going to the shooting at the range and stuff like that. Home defense, that kind of thing. Hold on. You're 13 and you're 6 feet. How's the air up there? That's tall. Well, I have a 13-year-old that's 5'7" right now. 5'7" and a half. Did you have to deal with POTS? Those growth spurts, man, make you stand up and faint. My daughter's dealing with it right now. You Go Learning Center. You'll have to elaborate, but congratulations. So you deal with it too then. See, the growth spurts are what causes it. It's because it makes your vascular system has to catch up with the growth spurts, and then you'll grow out of it. And then you won't have that problem anymore. Lou, I'm still not following you. Your grandma, you have a grandma that's 6'5"? The heck, man? Did you guys make it onto the ark before Noah shut the door? Well, that's horrible, I guess. Basketball family. Yeah, exactly. I'd say Larry Bird, but I don't want to be presumptuous. Volleyball family. Well, that makes sense too. You don't even have to jump up. You're just like, just rocket that thing right into somebody's face. You don't even have to jump. You're just like, well, yeah, I would imagine you wouldn't be allowed to play sports for a little while. Given your current condition. My recommendation is Netflix and relaxation. Chris Kringle. Doing pretty good, Charles. Doing well. Don't give away my true identity. I'll put you on the naughty list. Yes, I was in the Army. Andrea. I trained at Fort Benning when it was called Fort Benning, and before they took away the shark attack, when they made real soldiers. Thank you, Charles. I love it too. If I take it off, then YouTube has problems with me. But if I'm a girl with a low-cut shirt reacting to videos that you've seen 100 times, they're okay with it. Somebody needs to go over their policy. I should be able to show cleavage too. And make money. Although I do technically create EDF engines and experimental fans. So I could technically make an OnlyFans page for the drones. Yeah, it is killer on here. It's like, okay, so I'll do a long run video of some, me running the drone. Dude, I took that 340 millimeter fan and dropped kielbasa's into it at like full RPMs to see if I could break it. And all I did was grind them up and spit them back out. And those are PETG blades. And I barely got any views on that. But if Sniper Wolf watches it, then everyone else will. Talk about freaking being a YouTube hooker. I'm telling you. Look, the only thing she's got going for her are all the implants. That's the only reason why she's making any kind of money. You know, hey, and more power to her. If that's all she's got, that's all she's got. Okay? Didn't do well in school, didn't graduate high school, has no degree or whatever. So fine. I'm an engineer. No big deal. Okay? Doing experimental aviation, things like that. I'm showing you guys what I can show you on YouTube. I've applied for the DARPA Lift Challenge. I've already designed the drone. I've already submitted my design to DARPA. I mean, you would think that would be noteworthy kind of stuff, and then people would be like, oh, let's see what this guy's channel is about. Oh, let's get some, like, but no. You know? They're like, I can't scroll fast enough on my existential crisis rectangle to get enough dopamine to continue my life. I mean, come on. It is a low blow, I know. But it is true. It's like they talk about how you can't show certain things on YouTube, and then they extort women. You know? They know what they're doing. They're like right on the edge of what could be reported. And even if you did, they wouldn't care anyway. Because it's revenue. They're going to look at that channel and go, look how much money that girl's making for us. No, we're not going to like ding her or anything like that or take her video down. That's how you know a man's running the company. But not me. They don't give a damn if it's me. Look. Zero. It says 0 current viewers. Oh no, now it says 2. I think it glitched. Yeah, painted on workout pants. I don't know how they get into some of those clothes, man. Do they have to do it in like a vacuum chamber? I don't get it. And it's like, how do you wear something that... I couldn't wear stuff that tight and be comfortable. I just couldn't. I couldn't. You know, not after a straitjacket. Brings back too many memories. Anyway, my point is, you see 8. I know I see 2 on my side. I don't know what's going on. It's like, what's there not to like about me? Right? Am I not cool? I'm cool, right? Look, I have a drone. Watch me. Please. I'm playing. I'm totally messing with you. Wait, hold on. Wait. This is the one we're going to destroy. This is the one I dropped the kielbasa in. And I broke the motor mount. That's it, though. That's all I broke was the motor mount. Just this part right here. It's because I have ASA, which everyone says is really cool and strong. But it's not. Well, I guess under heavy loads it isn't. What I need is a Carvera Air or something like that. So I could, like... Or a CNC. Not even a Carvera. They're too picky. You know? They're like, you've got to have like this many subscribers and we'll send you something. It's like, I went to Pinta Machine to try and check out their Pocket NC. Which was, look, I'm Iron Man. But they're like, oh, well, we don't have the resources. I'm like, you could have just said, no, you don't have enough subscribers. You didn't have to lie to me. I know you have the resources. Don't be a liar. You ain't got to lie to kick it. Just tell me the truth. We don't think we can make money if you show your stuff. I guarantee if I put that up there, I could. The last time I showed off the MPCNC, 12,000 people watched it. That's more entertaining than I am. Horse barrel. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. You get better. But anyway, this is one we're gonna try and destroy again, and we're gonna throw more kill bosses in there. It was one that I had repaired. The other 4 are actually on the big drone, the Shrike Ultra, and that's already printed. But that was 28 kilograms of PETG to print that whole drone, so I'm not gonna throw kill bosses into it until I'm sure the fans can handle it, right? But I wanted to make sure that this can actually withstand the forces of that. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's pretty cool. I did have one black blade in there because I didn't have any more of the white. And so that car sort of looks funny when it's spinning, but it gives you some reference while it's spinning. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, it took it. It took it home. I mean, this is all printed off of a Bamboo Lab X1 carbon. And you'd think at this point they'd be sponsoring me, but they're not. They're like, he keeps trying to break our stuff. So we're not going to sponsor. I haven't even actually asked them. They certainly haven't come to me and said, hey, would you like some filament you could try out to see, which is tougher? That'd be cool. What's up? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sup? You know what I'm saying? Damn right, let's go. So the next time I actually do try to destroy this fan, it's going to be with a heavier motor, because I had the two 70/70 Flip Sky motors for a skateboard. And they were okay, but as soon as I put 75 volts through them, they died. Like, quick. So they can't handle the 75 volts. They say that they're rated for 75 volts. They're not. And I can prove it. So what I plan on doing in the future is basically throwing whatever I can at that fan, because that's an extra fan. So, and I have the big drone. The A10 is going to be done here pretty soon. I can't wait till the landing gear gets here, because that's going to be fun to hook up. The wing's done, and it's remarkably large. Hold on, I didn't know that this plane was going to be this big. Hold on. I still have to do some of the linkages. I have to do some of the linkages on this side, the flaps, and the aileron's already hooked up. And I did some primer work on here to see how it would look, all the reinforcements and everything. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one to fly, isn't it? It's gonna be a lot of fun. There's only 455 servos in it. The body looks even cleaner. I gotta get the motors though, and I'm working on the tail now. That's on the bench. That's it. Just break it. This is all out of expanding foam filament, the PLA stuff, not the 3D lab print stuff. I'm not using that. I'm actually using SaneSmart from Amazon, because when I went to order the other stuff, they wanted like $40 for standard shipping, and then like it was $60 if I wanted it faster. And their rolls were only $20. So it's like, why would I do that? Especially when I can get it the very next day, only pay $40. And I'll tell you right now, it went a long way. That entire plane was done, with the exception of the tail, the actual elevator and the rudders. The entire plane was done with one roll of SaneSmart LW PLA. They didn't pay me to say that. I'm just saying it because they put out some good stuff, and I think it deserves to be told, you know. So no sound. Is there no sound? Oh, you're funny. Thank you. Good one, Sounder. I was looking at I was looking at 77's comment. A family of raccoons. You're gonna hear that out in the woods somewhere. You know, raccoons screaming and I require more coffee. Fraulein! Can I have more coffee, please? Ah, chantez mon chéri petit Jean. Chantez. I think the dogs went out. Hold on, I gotta open the back door real quick. Not a joke. Come on, Vivian, let's go. All right. Ugh. Okay. I have two very indecisive huskies. Here she comes, back inside again. What are you doing, girl? Come here. Come. 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 Come here. You want to say hi to people? Come here. Come here. No, come here. Come here. Come on. Say hi. Say hi. Look at all the people. Up here. Up here. Up here. No, no, no. Come here. No, come here. Come here. Up here. Come here, my girl. The shelter rescue. All right, you can go inside now. Go ahead. Let me open the door. There you go. Oh. I'll tell you one thing right now about owning huskies. Buy a loom and a yarn spinner, because you can make your own clothing every year out of what they shed. I'm telling you right now, that's the best way to go. If you want, like, you could put out custom husky wear. and you'd have a never-ending supply of the hair. It's incredible. I never experienced anything like it in my life. The only other dog that I've had, like, living in this place is a Chihuahua, and she was just a brutal annoyance. But because usually you know how they are, right? They're violent. Like when you try to like pet them or anything, they try to bite you and everything like that. But this one, for some reason, is scared to death of me. Reveres me as some kind of god for some reason. And does not bark or get violent with me at all. Like, if I call her name, she'll walk up to me, lay down, roll over on her back, and she'll be nervous as hell. I've never been mean to her. Nothing like that. She's just extremely submissive towards me, which is weird for a Chihuahua. One of your... What? Couldn't help but notice not one of you is... I have no idea what that means. 4281 days, official North American MI. On to... I have no idea what you're getting at, but good luck, I guess. I love how I get the 7 current viewers. It's probably more. I don't know why their counts are never right. For some reason, it's never right. It's like someone else could be saying, "Oh no, I'm seeing this. No, I'm seeing that. Oh, I'm seeing this. No, I'm seeing that." Let's put up a goal. Let's do 10 super chats. Let's do it. I shall take over the world. So, what do you guys think? What's going on? What are your honest opinions on Minnesota? What are your honest opinions? Yes, this is a drone channel. Yes, I'm talking about whatever I want to, because that's what I do in the lives. As I try to get to know people, see if you guys like what you see. If you like the content, you like the content. If not, at least you get to chat with somebody you probably wouldn't like in person and get to know me. So it is, isn't it? I mean, it's like, it's crazy. It's like everyone's like, they don't like ice for sure, which is unfortunate because they got a lot of it. And it's just stupid. Like, why? Okay, first off, why put yourself in a position where you're going to get obviously hurt? Nobody is going to go to a protest, for one, and be armed unless you're Antifa and you're an idiot. So yeah, that's, to me, that's asking for trouble. That's asking for serious amounts of trouble. If you go to a protest after stating that you're going to go there to cause damage to agents, and I watched I guess I was watching a YouTube channel. I think it was Steve, I forget his name. That's a gender-free TV. He does a lot of the news. But they were like going to the hotel and like breaking the windows and stuff like that. And it's like, the hotel owner has nothing to do with what's going on. Why are you busting up his crap? I wouldn't be surprised if he came down with an SUV and started clearing the street. Yeah, they're already brazen. They wouldn't try that stuff. What's funny is, okay, they wouldn't try that stuff if they were up against civilians that were law-abiding on the right, because we carry, we carry, and but they have no problem getting up in the faces of cops, because the cops have to do things by the book. They have to do things lawfully, and they have to. I mean, not saying that we don't. I'm just saying that they're not there to attack the people there. They're there to defend the property or the people in the hotel, things like that, or the federal agents that are doing their jobs. And I don't care if people don't like me because of this, but those federal agents are doing their jobs. And they're like, you hear all these stories, like, oh, these poor people they're being disappeared in the ICE facility. This is all just, it's all a wash. It's all crazy lies to try and get people to believe. I mean, these are the same people that believe the earth is flat, okay? I'm not even kidding. They let Tim Walz over there running things, and he's a retard, okay? He is. I'm sorry. He's like literally calling for people to come out and fight. It's like, you are calling for this. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to get people killed. That's what's going to happen. Tim Walz is going to get people killed. That barista-looking mayor that comes up there, the one with the schnoz, I forget his name, but he's also going to get people killed with his rhetoric. because he's inflating everything that these protesters are doing, and then of course Antifa's going to jump in. They're gonna have a field day with it, you know. And surprisingly, thank you, my dear. Surprisingly, if they were to, like, where I'm at, I'm in California, right? So I don't want to be in California. I was born here. California sucks big time. It does. And it's because of Newsom. He's screwed everything up. And now we found all the money he's been stealing. He's going to be right there next to Maduro and Diddy. They took my money. They took my oil. And then Diddy's like, they took my oil too. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's going to get a lot worse out there. I agree with you on that one. But they wouldn't try that here. Everyone asks me, like, well, if you're you know, more right than left, then why are you in a state like California? Like I said, I was born here. It's expensive to move. It's expensive to even live here. Which joke are you talking about? Good time, Munchie. Which joke is he talking about? Oh, wait, which one are you talking about? Are you behind a little bit there? Cheese crust. Or are you talking to somebody in the chat? I'm just curious. The problem is with these people is none of them actually ever have been to a war zone. And then they might appreciate what it is that we're doing right now. So, yeah. Because I've had the opportunity, nay, I've been afforded the privilege of being in war. And I can tell you, it's a little bit messy, but just the way they train us at Benning, just think of them all as silhouette targets. And that's what we did when we were over there. Oh, my hair is all messed up. Are you kidding me? You think it looks good? I appreciate that. Unless you're being sarcastic, and then screw you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing. No. Sometimes when I wake up, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is about my hair. When I wake up, it is literally pointing in one direction or another. I think it's like pointing towards one of the poles. You know? So it could be that. Vivian, you already went out. Do you want to go back in? Right, hold on. Come on. There you go. Sorry, dogs don't have opposable thumbs, so I have to open the door. You think because of my hair that I'm woke? Like just woke up? Or that term where those idiots walk around with rainbow hair and septum rings? I'm just curious. Because if you're a troll, that's cool. I have a whole collection over here in the corner. So I just sit with the trolls and just keep feeding the algorithm. No. That woke BS that's retarded. I don't even know why they associated that word with whatever ideology they have. It's like, get your own languages. Mess them up. The same way with the freaking killers too, like Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. They're coming out with all these new ones. Mark Hamill's doing Chucky. Give me a freaking break already, okay? Leave our shit alone from the 80s, okay? Get your own. Uh-oh, someone tried to spam. Bye-bye. What? My beard? What's wrong? What do you mean? What do you mean? What? It's called a haircut. I don't know if he's still alive or not. I just know, all I know is he's not the original Chucky, okay? And he never will be. Hear me? Ever. Astro Mechanica. I don't know because I haven't seen him. I'll check him out though. Because the next person who says they're putting down a flying car and you need a helicopter pad to land it on, I hope somebody hits him in the throat. Because that's not a flying car. I'm building a flying quad, like an off-road quad, an EDF quad, not an open prop system, something you can literally go off-road, right? And that's going to be fun. That's not the Volanaut bike. I know, that Volanaut bike is cool, but you're not going to see that guy banking anytime past like 2 or 3 degrees. Otherwise, he'll just go... Unless you're pulling like 5 Gs around a corner, there's no way that thing is going to do it. No. And I don't know how you feel about it, but having 6 kerosene-powered turbines right underneath your crotch is just not something I'm comfortable with. No, I can't dye my hair. Don't plan on it. My natural grays are coming through, and that's all I need. Why would you want me to dye my hair? Oh, you but another troll? Please take a seat with the other trolls. You guys are great. You really are. It's funny because a lot of them give up after a while because what they say doesn't bother me. It just feeds the algorithm. And I collect you. You'll probably see other lives in the past where I am the troll king. Because I turn trolls into subscribers. I have no idea. He's just like making no sense whatsoever now. You're going gray? Go gray, man. I don't know why. I don't know why anyone would dye their hair. That's just you just lose brain cells doing that shit. I think the problem all over the world is the perception of self. They have to have an ideology that makes sense to them. That they think people will respect, even if it's not actually who they are. And in that, they lose what they were. Why trade what you were meant to be for something you're not? Just to be accepted by people you don't even know. Makes no sense. 53? I'm almost there. That's young, man. It's because I'm almost there. I'm saying that. That's young. 53 is young. I remember when we were younger, we thought, like when we were kids, we thought, man, our parents, 50 years old, that's old. Now I get to 50, getting close to 50. And I'm going, that's not old. Man, I was a little bastard for saying that. Now I know why my parents were so mad at me. You're pushing 40 next year? Well, Just keep pushing it so you never gotta catch up to it. That's my suggestion. The self-esteem issue. Yeah, I agree. It is a self-esteem issue. When we're going back to the part about, do you realize that everything that's going on in the world right now is because an administration came in and injected ideology about how you view yourself. They injected this ideology about you can do this and you can do that, and it doesn't matter what anybody says. I think they did a movie about this. It was called Nefarious. People are sinning and they don't even know it, and they don't even care. They think they have the moral high ground, and to quote phrases from the movie. I mean, and they don't. That's the funny thing, you know. They're all for abortion and everything like that, but they never take the consequences for the action. It's like, what is that action for? Well, it's for procreation. That's obvious. It's not like you get gumballs out later for a surprise. It's for procreation. That's why there's a reward. And then to take that gift and then destroy it because you don't see it as a human being yet is ignorance. But you'll go to jail for destroying an eagle's nest eggs. Destroy the eagle's nest, you'll go to jail. I mean, it's like, what do you mean it has nothing to do with procreation? You know what? You just proved that you're not just an instinctual being without a soul, because you can differentiate between what you want to do as a desire and what you want to do as instinct. Now, instinctually, we're designed to procreate, but we can decide against that desire and destroy what we've created. Thank you for proving the soul. Moving on. Why would you want to boycott Melania's movie? You're stupid. LL, okay. That's a typical leftist answer right there. Do you have anything else you want to add? Or are you done trying to be heard? Sit in the corner with the rest of the trolls. Plenty of dunce caps over there waiting for you. I'm talking silly? How am I talking silly? Elaborate. Prove there isn't one. You see, this is the problem with people. Their sight is too narrow. That's why there's so many flat earthers in the 21st century. The universe is contingent on everything in it. So the universe itself is contingent on being created by something. A tree is contingent on the seed. The seed is contingent on the fruit. The fruit, again, is contingent on the tree. So what you're missing is the fact that you can't see past your own perception of time. And therefore you think you have the answers. Science proves this. Science does nothing but observe how the universe behaves. It doesn't explain why. So you tell us why we're all here. Yeah, it has a lot to do with the soul, because you see, you're aware of your decisions. That's self-awareness. You can call it a soul, you can call it a spirit, you can call it whatever you want, but it's not bound to what you are. It is bound physically here while you're here, but that's because there's a plan. And what you don't seem to understand or fail to understand or refuse to understand because, and this is why you refuse all of this at all, is because then it would make you accountable for your actions. And you'll be damned if you're accountable for your actions. You keep rolling with it. Yes, science observes how the universe behaves. It explains how some things work. It does not answer the why. And I'll put it out here right now. Every single one of you, tell me right now. The Big Bang. Now, just because I'm a Christian, I don't think the Big Bang didn't happen. What I think is that there was no human perception till the final day when God created man to observe the perception of time as we see it now, how time passes. So because of that, you can't say that everything was just, it just happened. It may have happened as the Big Bang shows it, billions of years, according to our perception of time, which didn't exist until the final day of creation. So you tell me, who besides an eternal being was here to perceive that time before man was here to perceive time as it is now? No one. There was no consciousness whatsoever before humans became sentient. Even if you believe in evolution, even before humans became sentient or self-aware, they were not aware of time. Were they? Or am I wrong? It doesn't develop mechanisms. It explains the mechanisms. It observes. Science doesn't create something from nothing. It never has. Nothing in the universe is created from nothing, except the universe itself wasn't even created from nothing. It didn't create itself. It was created by something. It's contingent on something, just like everything else in the universe is contingent on something else. Yeah, just silly. That's what I get all the time. And that's fine. We're all going to find out when it's all done and over with. So, good luck. Another troll! Welcome. Come sit in the corner with the rest of them. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not here to convert any of you. I'm here to tell you what my beliefs are. But I'm trying to tell you right now, science is the observation of the universe and everything in it, and it can explain how things behave in the universe. For example, a photon. A photon is where it was and was where it is and always will be. The speed of light is contingent solely on how gravity affects space-time. So when you see a star and they say, well, that's the light, that's the way it was so many millions of years ago, it's because gravity affects space-time. And therefore, gravitational lensing, things of that nature, gives us a distance. Red shift, blue shift, you already know all this stuff. But a photon doesn't have a set speed. It's here now, and it's there, and it's here. It literally is not bound by time at all. A photon is not bound by time. It has no mass. Aztec priest. Should have read the name. Now it makes sense. You have a good night too. Thanks for dropping by and feeding the algorithm. Ka-ching. We won't. We'll know they're down there. I know what you're saying. Good night, but we'll know they're there. Um, but they don't believe any of that. That's the sad part. That's a strange question. Anyway, my point is, you can believe in whatever you want to believe in. I'm not going to force you to be a Christian. I'm going to tell you the truth that I know. And I'm going to tell you it because science, quantum mechanics, entanglement, all of that fascinates me. I've studied it for a very long time. And I can tell you right now, the creation theory is the only one that substantiates everything in the universe. Order in all of this chaos. And I know what people are going to say. There's tons of planets and different places and Goldilocks zones around their sun. So how do we know that there's no life? Well, why are we so arrogant then to think that we're the first ones that have developed any kind of radio communication or any kind of communication that is structured at all that we can actually pick up? There could have been, according to you, life forms thousands of years more advanced than us, and we haven't heard a peep? Oh, and let's not forget the aliens that, for some reason, couldn't hit the brakes and hit a planet. So, intelligent life? I don't think so. Not out there. You know, like what? Did the aliens' kids steal the ship and go out for a joyride? They hit, according to them, according to the tabloids, according to Area 51 and all the alien believers, aliens they traversed the stars at near the speed of light with their advanced technology and their mind-reading capabilities, only to slam into a planet. What the hell? Really? That's what you're going to bank on? They're a master race species. They can't drive a damn spaceship. Oh, yeah. It's the most entertaining, ridiculous stuff I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay, I'm actually a believer, but I understand faith works independently of logic. Faith has nothing to do with what you consider logic. There's no logical reason why a creator must exist. There's no logical reason why a creator shouldn't exist. When, in that case, if there's no logical reason why a creator exists, then there's no logical reason why we exist and that we're aware of it. So the argument goes both ways. Evan, how was the car bed? Was it comfortable? How you doing? One of my favorite trolls, by the way, he actually knows how to troll, and he keeps coming back. Love this guy. Evan rocks. Thinks I'm off my rocker, off my meds, crazy half the time. He always has something to throw at me, but you know what? He's cool about it. You know what I mean? Now, sure, you have a question? Go for it. Doomslayer? Exactly, so we can disregard logic when we talk about faith. Well, not necessarily, because faith is something that you have. When you have it, you can't explain living without it. And without it, you can't explain having it. So it's sort of a paradox. If you want to talk about logical stuff, I build drones. I'll get back to you in just a second. Aztec. I build drones, experimental propulsion kind of stuff. Right now I'm working on A10 Warthog, first 3D lab print plane, and I'm doing it with an alternative expanding foam PLA. But on these chats, we talk about that stuff, but we also talk about other things, obviously, because it's going off the rails. Thinking what? Your job is the greatest thing in the world, then realizing it's not. You can't explain because you don't understand physiology or psychology. Are you saying I don't understand psychology, or are you saying in general people can't understand faith because they don't understand the psychology behind faith? But there is no psychology behind faith. It's that's a sort of like an oxymoron. So you can't use that. I should have joined the army. That's not very. I was in the army. Are you saying I shouldn't have? Did I support the war on terror? Yes, I fought in it. See, this side says my name. This side says U.S. That says U.S. Army. One side says trained to kill, and so on and so forth. No, yeah, you can call it states of mind, whatever you want to call it, dude. I mean, the bottom line is, I have my faith, and honestly, when it comes to how analytical my mind is, when it comes to science, when it comes to the universe, when it comes to the awe and fascination I have with the way stars work, how planets work, how dark matter work, quantum entanglement, things like that. Planck's theory, all that other stuff, Einstein, you name it. I mean, I go to sleep reading these books. If I hadn't had the experience that I had when I was a child, I probably would question faith. But obviously, God had a better plan, and that was, we're going to show you. I'm not going to go through the story again. It was one of my other lives. But I saw the future 3 days in advance. To the T, exactly what was going to happen, and it happened. No matter what I did to try to stop it, still happened. I know what you're going to say. It's some psychological thing. You think you saw it. You made it happen. You manifested it. Well, that's a bunch of BS because of way too complicated of an experience for that to happen. Trained, yes, I think it is going to get me there because I did what I did in defense of my country. Do you not appreciate the fact that I went over there to stop more terrorists from flying planes into buildings? Or does that bother you for some reason? Hey, Elmo. You don't have to come in here and state your identity. It's totally fine with us. You can keep it to yourself. Okay, when you're trained at Fort Benning, you put anything else but trained to kill on your ring, and you're going to get smoked by a drill sergeant. All I did was secure financial assets. No, I distinctly remember killing a lot of people who were shooting at me. So I did a little bit more than that. And you know what? If any one of your family members had died because of terrorist activity, you'd have a different view about this. Guaranteed. So I don't want to hear it. Vietnam was a losing battle from the beginning. But when, I mean, I remember waking up, um, and like to the, because working nights, driving for Gallo, and I woke up to the news just in time to see the second plane hit the second tower, and um, that seems like something that you respond to. Oh, I used to drive truck all the time, hauling grapes. Aztec, I think we missed your question. Well, at least I got distracted from your question. Where were we? I don't want to leave you behind, metaphorically speaking. Why don't I still drive truck? Because I'm a retired veteran. I don't drive truck anymore because I don't want to. Who are you talking about? Did I tell people they can't have an identity? Well, no, you can have an identity. You can have any identity you want. Doesn't mean it's real, as we've seen lately. Somebody asked me about this was a big accomplishment, man. You got a basic? A big accomplishment. Dude, I was a professional couch potato from California and goes to Georgia in the middle of July. That wasn't a smart move. I didn't even know the humidity was going to do that to me, but I got used to it. And I was proud of myself after that. I was very proud after I finished basic. It was one of those things where you're like, you've got new buddies now, but then you got to say goodbye to half of them because half of them were going to AIT somewhere else, and then I went to a few other places. What have you tried? Was I scared of dying? No. Why would I be scared of dying? Who's pro censorship? What are you talking about? I just said you can identify as whatever you want to. Just don't expect me to give a shit. Wow. That was like straight from the liberal's horse's mouth, right? Well, at least I know I got under his skin. I'm telling you right now, I feel proud about that. Now I'm gonna bother him all day. Oh, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. No one can hurt my feelings. Oh man. They are, aren't they? Hostile discussions can be more fun and educating because then you find people's limits. And you seem like, regardless of what you believe in, you seem like, dare I say it, you're like me in the sense that you have a belief system, and when somebody gives you a different belief system that doesn't coincide with your own, you have a plethora of responses pre-recorded and ready to deliver. And while that's good, you're still wrong. Oh yeah, that's true. The subjects, we're talking about space, we're talking about time, we're talking about faith, we're talking about the existence of the universe, we're talking about the existence of everything, the existence of a creator, people saying that there isn't a creator, so on and so on. I would say, objectively, I would say that if you consider what we've seen politically in identity ideology, do you notice how it has attacked Christianity as a whole, as if it were the enemy, and not just the people who say, you're not a desk lamp, you're not a Hedishim, whatever you want to call yourself. They attack Christianity. Like Don Lemon going in, and boy, he's fucked. I'll tell you that. We have amendments in this country for a reason. And he violated the hell out of one. And even if you didn't believe in Christianity, what Don Lemon did was disgraceful. And it was a dick move. But he was wrong. I hope he goes to jail, and I think Diddy will have a lot of fun with him. Oh, you don't think I understand the amendments? Okay. Well, why don't you try to educate me right now then? Since you seem to know more than I do about them, please. Go ahead. I'll wait while you Google them. Hey, Frankie, my day is going good. How's yours? No, I don't. You see, what people fail to understand about the ICE operations is they're pulling out illegals that have committed crimes. And then people are saying, no, they're citizens. If they're here illegally, I don't care if they have a spotless record. The first crime they committed was coming here illegally.
Well,
yes.
There's 2 teenagers trying to get into the building.
One second.
Trying to pry their way in.
Where? Yeah, no, it's okay. They can't get in that door. I've got so many anti-personnel devices set up there, they wouldn't get through anyway. They wouldn't make it far. Anyway. Paul? You are correct. You have what numbers? Not necessarily. An anti-personnel device could mean a camera, an alarm system. It doesn't necessarily have to mean a tripwire and a flashbang. But I've had to use them for a while. Noob! How you doing? Welcome to the chat. It's going well. I'm having a swimming conversation with everyone in the room. Yes, there are several forms of anti-personnel devices. So, do I have PTSD? No, I don't. Any thoughts on the price of gold? I think it's going up. That's what I think. I think I should have gone in at $1,200 an ounce. That's what I think. How old am I? Well, take a guess. I don't know what. Emergency services have to be able to get who out? What are you talking about? Private citizens. What are you talking about? No, I'm not 53. If anybody goes into that building again, would you go get my 37 millimeter, please? I know a few people that died in those areas. Okay, hold on. Back up. I'm dealing with someone who might be trying to break into the building. So, David Jones, hey man, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Oh, well, I'm not going to discuss that. That's wrong. I mean, I don't. I'm proud of my record, but I mean, it's just, yeah. I don't have to worry about calling the cops. They'll be incapacitated, and the alarm will go off. Do I know? Oh, I knew a lot of people that got PTSD. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people over there that couldn't handle it, and for me, it was more of a vacation. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I just I don't like to throw that out there because it's because you never. Okay, do I know through the irons? Yeah. With grenades and stuff like that, I can't be sure, so I can't give you a roundabout number. Oh yeah, the Mormon missionary with their brass plates and the rock under their hat so they can read them. What are you talking about? A tough guy persona? Like I'm the gentlest person in the world. You cross me, and then yeah, we got a problem. And I'll talk to you at first. I'll be like, look, you're making a really big mistake, and I don't want you to get hurt. So watch your mouth, rephrase your questions, and then everything will be fine. It's I have a persona that's cringy. Tough guy. No, not a tough guy. I just learned. I actually don't. I don't like. Let's put it this way. I got in a fight when I was on base once with some, another soldier. He got cocky and tried to put his hands on me, and I laid him out. And I felt bad afterwards. I felt very bad. And now when it came down to wartime, I didn't feel bad about what I had to do there. But when it came down to someone on my side who was just basically trying to attack me because he didn't like me or whatever, I hit him. I got an Article 15 for it. So did he, because he started the whole thing. But I felt bad because I fractured his orbital socket. And I messed up his vision. I felt bad about that. I did. The guys that, were fighting against us that I gave the pink mist to, I don't feel bad about that at all. Actually, I haven't given up on that. I just figured you got we actually had Aztec. You had a question that I kind of got distracted by something else, and I was going to answer it, but now I forgot what it was. But we can still talk about God if you want, or you can just talk to him when you get there. The thing is, most people are set in their beliefs to where they're not going to believe, and we are specifically told when it comes down to situations like that where you're just not going to be able to reason with this person, then you just shake the dust from your feet and walk away. So, yeah, you will. uh, it's not that I don't hate people just because they don't believe. I actually feel bad for them. Because if you consider a perceived reality, and for the sake of argument, for you, we'll say it's a perceived reality of what may happen after death. Although I believe it wholeheartedly. If you were to intentionally miss that for the sake of personal desires here, or the fact that you don't want to be held accountable for specific actions, then I would feel bad for that person. I really would. Because I don't want to see anyone lose out on what potentially for them would be an eternity of peace. I mean, you just don't know. You don't believe, so you don't know. It's hard to watch somebody be lost to the world, and that's something that I don't like. And a prime example is having to fight to defend the nation from more attacks, to where people don't have to needlessly, die from terrorist activities. That's hard for me too, because it's like, okay, a lot of people ask me, they go, well, didn't they have children? As well, the enemy. I'm like, yeah, but they made their choice. And now they have to live with it for the rest of their lives, which wasn't very long. So congratulations, Vorp. I don't know. I guess I have mixed feelings about it. Hey, is everything okay across the street, or do I need to go take care of somebody?
Yeah, they went into that alleyway.
Yeah.
And then we didn't see them after that, so.
Okay. Well, there's a 6, so they're gonna get arrested as soon as there's cameras all over the place. They'll get arrested. If they start to break in, though, to the main door, let me know, and then I'll get the 37 mil.
They tried.
The main door?
Oh, no, not the main
door.
door.
No, I'm talking about the main door. The other one they can't get through. There's a 2,000-pound mill in front of it.
They took like a running...
Did they run into it? No.
They shoved it, both of them, with their hands.
How old were they?
Probably 16, 17.
Oh, they're just kids.
Yeah, they're kids.
I don't want to kill any more kids.
No, anymore.
I'm just kidding, everyone.
So they were like pushing on it, and they figured out they couldn't get it open, so they kind of like went like this, and then they
did the shoulder ram.
And they bounced on
There's because I put a 2,000-pound mill on the other side of that door.
They gave up after that.
Yeah, that was okay. As long as they hurt themselves trying to get in, that's all that matters.
Their egos.
Yeah. Okay, back up a second. Who was responsible? You're talking about the people that I fought overseas? It's a little different when they planned the whole thing and the idea for them. I mean, let's just put it this way. I can answer that with another argument. you want the freedom to choose to identify, and not you in particular, we'll say in general. People want the freedom to identify as something that they weren't at birth, okay? And then they are holding up free Palestine flags. Well, I've been overseas and I've seen what the Muslims do to the people who have that kind of ideology. And it involves putting bags over their heads and executing them. So I can't rationalize why, other than the fact that these people are just driven solely by hatred of being told what to do, I can't rationalize why they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, knowing that the same people that they say they're fighting for would execute them for what they believe in. And that's that they are a desk lamp or a cat or whatever they want to be called. That's my point. That's the main point. It's like you're waving the flag of a country that would execute you for your beliefs. Makes no sense. Yeah. Thanks for dropping by really quickly. Have a good night. You can explain that to me. Please explain it to me. Why am I changing the subject? Isn't it the same? We're talking about the same thing. Please continue. Do you want to go back in? Vivian? Do you want to go back in? Aztec, you explain it to me. Okay, hold on one second. Come on. Cole, do you want to go inside? All right. All right, so yeah, killing is wrong unless someone's trying to kill you, and then it's self-defense. So you can just call it that through the entire war. It was a job. It was a job I had to do. So you gotta ask yourself, when no one who, if you've never been in the military, really? That's the Chihuahua I was talking about. Hold on a second. If you've never been in the military, you're not gonna understand. You're not gonna understand that when you get out of all of your training and you get deployed, you're following orders. You have to follow orders. And if you're ordered to go out and do a specific job, that's what you have to do. And if that job entails you being out in the middle of the desert and you're attacked by, Al-Qaeda or any other faction that was out there, and you don't respond, you're going to get killed. So yeah, you kind of have to do what you were trained to do. Okay, hold on, back up, because I've had a lot of distractions here. Which question? Before I keep going, did I answer your question about what? Refresh my memory, because I got lost with all this stuff. Too many conversations, too many people running in and out. I'm watching the chat, so go ahead and fire away. Regardless of the beliefs of the people, they are trying to save from genocide. Well, but these people are getting, okay, take Iran for example. You would think that before the uprising in Iran that everybody thought the same way just about Americans and our involvement in their system. Then you come to find out that all of them had been oppressed by the same regime and the same faith system that regime holds, and they're being eliminated by their own leaders because of protesting. Now imagine that. You guys think you got it bad here when it comes to protesting. Try it in Iran. So, I mean, let's be honest. Tracy from daycare. Yeah, I think you might have the wrong person. There, Tracy. All right, so so my point is try that on Iran. That's my whole point. You're advocating for regardless of the beliefs of the people, they are trying to save from genocide. But the thing is, look what happened in Iran. Look at what the Ayatollah did in Iran. Look what happened. They protested against that regime, and instead of being afforded the rights that we have here, they were literally murdered by their own regime. By the thousands so far. So how does that fit into the equation? How does that fit into your equation? Touch, I beg to differ. It is our problem what happens in other countries. So, Charlie, hi. Well, yeah, of course they do. But you're trying to, are you saying that the leaders of our country are despots? Is that what you're trying to say? Are you trying to say that we're the same way? Or that just because, we had to go over and go after Osama bin Laden? I mean, we all knew that there was a little bit more to that story. But at the time when it happened, we knew what had happened. We knew who was responsible. We knew who was flying the planes. So we went ahead and we basically suited up and went and took care of it. But everyone acts like and you're right. Other countries that do act like that murder their own people, then they sit there and they whine about why isn't the United States doing something about it? Why isn't the U.S. getting involved? They could stop this. And then we go to stop it and they complain that we're stopping it. It's like, why aren't you doing anything? And then all of a sudden the blue hairs come out, and then, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be interfering. And it's like, you know what? Go live there. If you think that what they have is so good and we shouldn't be interfering, go live there. And see what happens. Barbie. Everything's going fine. It's just we're dealing with. It's amazing to me how much things have changed since before I went into the military. U.S. private interests were itchy for a regime change in Iran. Well, yeah, because they don't want them to have a nuclear weapon, because they would attack America as soon as they had one. Iraq was easy. But to be honest with you, yeah, I mean, do you want Iran to have a nuclear weapon that can reach the United States? Just curious. It's gone beyond borders. It's not just about we shouldn't be playing in your politics, you shouldn't be playing in ours. People have been spying on us, and we've been spying on them long before I was born. People have been interfering with the government's elections. We've been interfering with others. They've been interfering with ours. It's been happening for years, decades. But here's the problem now. The problem now is the weapons of mass destruction, okay? And the fact that there are some people out there now that are so desperate, some regimes, that they're willing to, when they get it, no matter what the consequence, to use it against the United States, thinking they're going to strike a blow to the imperialistic West. And all they're going to end up doing is making themselves targets. We don't want to use those same weapons on them because their people don't even want them in charge. That much we've seen in Iran firsthand. So, of course, we're not going to let them have a nuclear weapon because they're going to use it, and then we would have to respond. But we don't want to, we don't want to hurt innocent people there who don't want to be under that very same regime. And we've seen that by their protests. But what have we seen in response from their regime? We've seen them murder their own people for protesting. And now everyone's comparing that to us. It's like somebody, you go to a protest here and you're armed, and you said already that you're going to create maximum damage, and then something happens and you get shot in the process, and then you're going to go and blame the people you're going to blame the officers. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. It's like saying you're not going to identify yourself if you get pulled over by a police officer. That's not going to go over well either. Same thing's going to happen if you try to run over an officer with your car. You're going to get shot, because that's assault with a deadly weapon. And what is a cop going to do if he's assaulted with a deadly weapon? He's going to return the favor. So we can sit here and talk about, should they have done this? The political implications. Should we be doing this? Should we be doing that? But what it really comes down to is play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And a lot of people are going to find that out. I do value life. I don't think that any one of those protesters should have put themselves in a position. See, here's the thing. It's the old adage. If somebody breaks into my house, they're not walking out of here. Okay? And then people would say, you value your stuff over their life. And my response to that is always going to be, no. They valued my stuff over their lives. And I took care of that. Bottom line. You can say, no, I don't all you want, but what you think of my opinion on life doesn't matter. Yeah, and war. That's what we had to do. How do you expect us to survive it? You think we can just throw a couple Hershey bars over there and say, "Hey, man, we're cool"? You know, no, they're gonna kill us because we were United States Army. They wanted they weren't welcoming us with open arms. I mean, what are you, crazy? You've obviously never been in a war. Anyone can sit behind a computer and become that keyboard warrior. But unless you've been there, then your opinion does not matter. Unless you have been in the situation, your opinion doesn't matter. Well, life isn't expendable. No, you don't seem to understand something here. Life is sacred. But if a person decides to throw their life away, it's not up to me to stop it. No, I don't care if you judge me at all. You can judge whatever you want to. It's like the person putting themselves in a position to be shot because they tried to run over an officer. Right? Her life had value, but she decided that it wasn't valuable enough to put her anger aside and keep her out of a dangerous situation. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know how many times I get blamed for other people not valuing their own life. That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my entire life. It goes back to the same thing I was just saying. If you break into my house, it isn't that I value my stuff over your life, it's that you valued my stuff over your life. Bottom line. If you try to run me over with a car and I'm a cop and you're trying to kill me because I'm a cop and I have to defend myself with lethal force, you valued your opinion or your freedom over your life knowing that you were already in the wrong. So you made your decision. So all those arguments that you're throwing out are moot. You're going to tell me that protesting isn't a dangerous situation nowadays? Well, I mean, look at what happened. Look here. This, now we're getting to the root of the situation. Now we're getting to the root of it right here. Go ICE. Go ICE. Now we're getting to the root of it. You see, it was only a matter of time before the colors came out, right? Go ICE. Because the next time that something happens to a child or anyone else in the United States by an illegal immigrant that wouldn't have happened, let's say it's one of your children or one of your family members, if that immigrant wasn't supposed to be here because they were here illegally or crossed the border illegally or overstayed a visa hoping to just get overlooked, you're going to have a different tune. You'll have a different tune for damn sure. Guaranteed. Cheese. That's all cheese has to come up with because of my tooth. tell your blood vessels what? Ducks, I don't know what you're talking about, man. ICE should be scarier than immigrants to the immigrants. No, is that who's saying we're punishing a whole set of people? The entire country was built on immigrants. It's legal immigration that we want. It's real simple. Look at it this way. What happens when somebody is legally vetted and they can come into the country? They know their background. They've been counted in the census so that county or state services can actually, set aside funding for those number of people who have come in legally. But what happens if they come over illegally? Or they're trafficking humans, or they're bringing over drugs? That doesn't really help us, does it? So no, I'm not saying an entire type of people should be punished because of the actions of a few. But how many illegals are in the country? The ones that are bringing in the fentanyl that are killing people, the ones that are bringing in the drugs that are killing people, the ones that are coming over and just physically killing people themselves, or trafficking humans. That doesn't seem to matter to any of the protesters. All that matters is that they get to stand out in the cold with a sign and scream at somebody because they just don't like the orange man. That's all there is to it. Because if these actions, you know how many times Obama said we need to ramp up border enforcement. We need to make sure we get illegals out of the country. Hillary said it. Obama said it. Bill Clinton said it. They all said it. But because they were Democrats, it goes completely and totally ignored. But as soon as a Republican says it, because it's Trump that's saying it, now all of a sudden it's a bad thing. So let's call this what it is. You didn't get the leader you wanted, and you've lost your shit over it. That's all there is to it. You lost every swing state, you lost the House, you lost the Senate, and now you can't go kill your unborn child. Sorry, you're going to have to live with the consequences of your actions. No, Aztec, I don't care what you think. Your opinion does not weigh anything to me. It really doesn't. Because the first thing you did, you showed your colors. Freaking all caps as soon as you started talking about ICE. And then that's exactly what I expected. That's exactly what I expected. I don't care if you don't like me at all. I support Trump and what he's doing. You can't defend your positions. You can't, because you have no framework to do it in. All you have is it's just because it's Trump and his administration. Because if Biden was doing it, you wouldn't be saying shit. Because Obama, like I said the same thing. Hillary Clinton said the same thing. Bill Clinton said the same thing. They all said it. We need border control. We need illegal immigrants out. They knew it. They said it. But as soon as Trump says it, it's a bad thing. That's all it is. And you can't say that I'm wrong because you can't find one Democrat administration that didn't want border control. I mean, we can pull up the clips and show them. Look it up. You just don't like Trump. That's all there is to it. And that's how shallow your arguments are. Your arguments are shallow because you're okay with the Democrats doing it, but not when the Republicans do it. That makes you hypocrites. I'm an unserious person? Is that what you're saying? What have I gotten wrong? Did Obama and Clinton, both of the Clintons, did they not say that we needed border control, that we needed to get illegal immigrants out? How many speeches have you seen from Hillary Clinton alone that they needed to make sure that illegal immigrants were out and that there was better border control? Tell me that I'm wrong. And that was on the left. But then the right does it, and it's orange man bad. That's all it ever is. That's all it ever is. Which makes you just a child screaming in the corner because you didn't get your way. Trump sent letters to Kim Jong-un. Well, Kim Jong-un is just like a baby that throws a tantrum every once in a while that splashes down in the Pacific and never actually makes it to its target. You see, the left does nothing. Listen to Aztec. Nothing but insults. After I mention what the truth really is, it's nothing but insults. And that's all you'll see from the left right now in the chat. Just insults. No arguments to support it. Nothing. Just insults. I said, you think that what they're doing right now to enforce immigration patrol, to enforce the border control, to enforce the laws of our country is wrong. You think it's wrong. But when Obama said it, when Clinton said it, you didn't have anything to say. You were all for it, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Do I support Israel? Yes. So does the United States. Congratulations, Toto, or whatever your name is. What are you talking about? If you're having a serious conversation with Trump supporters, they wouldn't use the term orange man bad. I'm quoting what I hear on the left. That's what it's all about. And I was basically summarizing their belief system. It was just because Trump did it. That's why you hate it. And that's the truth. Well, yeah, there is an elite that we have to consider. It's not just left or right. I agree with you on that one. That was CHS 8020. Yeah, they all do react the same way. Have you noticed that? That's how I know you'll never actually engage with the other side. What has the other side done? except complain about the fact that, well, we found all their stolen money for one, so I'm sorry that Schiff can't make his house payment. But I don't know, what would your argument be for someone who has a specific salary that goes into Congress, but then like Pelosi, for example, and then she comes out being a multi-millionaire, and it's overnight? What about Ilhan Omar and her assets? And now that's being investigated because she can't explain where the money came from. What about all of the Somali daycare centers that are laundering money? You're not saying anything about that, are you? No, it's just ICE, right? And the illegal immigrants. They should be allowed to be here, right? That kind of thinking is the reason why this entire country is in the debt that it's in. Of course there's fraud everywhere. That's why they're trying to find it. I don't think anybody in Congress has taken a loan that has been fraudulent. Hold on, let me move the mouse. I can't read that. Oh, they're liberal documents? Are they? I think you're confusing. There's two types of there's two terms in which the context liberal are used. And I think you're confused slightly. What a compelling argument? I lost me on that one. What do I use for my hair? Nothing. Well, no one in government, including the President of the United States, actually runs the country. I think that's starting to get dismantled, and I think that Soros is very, very angry about that. And and that's why he's been really dumping money into Antifa through different organization routes. And that's because he wants to push the boundaries so far that the reaction has to be what it has to be, and then the people that are lawfully trying to protect citizens and the nation are considered the bad actors, when we know who the bad actors are. Thanks for the PDF. I'm not going to click on it right now. I'll read it later, though. Promise. I have no What is fascism? Can you define it? Define fascism. Go ahead, I'll wait. Willie, I hope you have a wonderful evening as well. Thank you. Still waiting on that definition of fascism. Yeah, I know, it's usually 6 people. You know you're doing it right when nobody wants to watch. Did he save the economy? Hell yeah, he saved the economy. Sorry, what are you talking about, man? All you said was something about fascism, and then you didn't. Or no, it wasn't you. Maybe it was you. I don't know. I know they all care about the people that I have in the chat. Most people don't like the lives because I speak my mind. I speak the truth. I speak what I believe, and other people don't like it. I get a lot of people that do like it, and I get people that don't like it. A majority of you don't like it. And that's fine. I don't care. Oh, I didn't even see it. I do it again. Define fascism. Without using Google. I mean, you're obviously, want to hear what you think about it. Hold on, I gotta close that door. Oh my goodness. You guys have been an entertaining bunch, I'll tell you that. What you believe in the truth are not all. Are you having problems? Hold on. Okay, so explain fascism. And everybody on the left, who define a woman. I just want to hear it. Ethan, you poor thing. A cult member. What cult exactly? I'm just curious. I want to make sure I pay my dues, right? A woman is the English word. It's a good one, Aztec. Yeah, they're like off the chain here. They're just like, there's no answers to any of my questions whatsoever. Just insults and everything else. Just nobody's answering anything. Because I see that argument all the time, Yeah, well, biologically, what is a woman? Can a man give birth? I'm here. I don't want to piss any one individual off. I kind of want to do it as a group. Ethan, is that what you're going to focus on? You don't have anything to contribute to the conversation except your ignorance? Ethan the keyboard warrior. Oh, that's funny. I collect trolls, Ethan, so go sit in the corner with the rest of them. I wouldn't worry about Ethan. He'll leave. Yeah, see, he's making absolutely no sense. He's just talking to talk, so. Language evolves as out understanding of the world does. I assume you mean our. How is that relevant? I'm just curious. The conversation is jumping back and forth from one subject to the other. So, what exactly does our language evolving? How does it change our understanding of the world? Do they have a Y chromosome? Yeah, I mean, what's a biological female? See, do you see how many leftists there are? They just come in here and it's just insults, 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 no actual conversation. Yes! We understand that sex and gender are separate concepts. And what is gender? Is it ideology? Because ideology doesn't make it real. I don't care about trans. I'm obsessed? Are you kidding me? We didn't even start the conversation on this. Ethan needs to get a hobby. A religious freak. I appreciate that. Yeah, I am very religious. You're not, obviously, so sucks to be you. Okay, so it's really simple. What's so hard to understand? Are you referring to the ideology of gender? You're not being specific. You said two separate things. You said we understand that sex and gender are separate concepts. So what is it that you're saying is hard for me to understand? To give you an example, I'm not going to walk up to someone who is obviously male or dressing as female, or not even trying to dress as something, but expecting me to read their mind to figure out what they identify as that day. And I'm not going to get into an argument with them about what I should be calling them if they haven't, wear a name tag or something, so that we know what it is that you're trying to be today. Because, like, if you have a name tag that says, "Hi, my name is Frank," I'm going to say, "Hey, Frank, how you doing?" If you have a name tag that says, "Hi, my name is obviously a barista, but I identify as a cat and a furry," I wouldn't even know what am I supposed to say? Sit, stay, or something like. What do you want me to say? I mean, they get upset when you misidentify them, but then they can barely identify themselves. So you need to choose one so that we can call you. I've got no problem with playing pretend with you. As long as you feel better about yourself and you can go home and play with your crayon and write about how wonderful your day was. But what I'm not going to do is argue with somebody who is saying I'm being disrespectful because I've misgendered them when they haven't made it clear what the fuck they are. Okay? I'm not a mind reader. Okay? You just asked about, what are you talking about? What subject am I changing? You just said sex and gender, and now you're saying I'm changing the subject. If people want to separate gender and sex, then fine, so be it. It's not like the world is crazy enough as it is. Explain what, Ethan? He feels safe behind his keyboard. Just let him keep typing. I want to see what he has to say. Hold on, do I have to scroll up to see it? Ethan, you're speaking to my wife, so do it respectfully. If we're going to have a conversation, then we'll have a conversation whether you like me or not. But the moment you disrespect my wife, I'll task a satellite over your house. Yeah, Ethan's on thin ice. No, I really do. I would love to have the conversation. Yeah, you say you won't do anything. Neither will you, Ethan. Here, I'll show you what I can do. I'm going to do it for 10 seconds. See? I'm the one in control. Yeah, Stacy's my wife. So if anyone disrespects her, then you're lucky you're just getting timed out. You're not born biologically male or female. Did you just say that? You're born biologically male or female? Yes. Society then assigns a gender. Why? Why? So that didn't exist 20 years ago. You want to tell me how that's relevant now? That didn't exist 20 years ago. There weren't people barking, oh, you know what, it's a boy. But no, it might identify. No, if you're saying that a person can choose when they're born what they want to be, then why not let that person choose? You're assigning a gender, so you're going to assume the baby's gender. Forget the biology. You're going to assume the baby's gender before it has a chance to form its own words? How sick are you? So you're going to take away that human being's right to choose its own ideological identity because it can't speak yet? I'm afraid this goes both ways. Pardon the pun. But you're going to sit here and tell me that gender and sex are different, and that when they're born a certain sex, and then they're assigned a gender. By whom? Because from what I'm told, the person who believes what gender that they are at that moment is the only one that can decide it. So according to your ideology, you just violated the rights of that infant. What now? Jeez, you guys can't even get your friggin' bullshit straight. What is it? You know? Make up your minds. Gather hunters. That's a good point. I can't believe it either. They just got through telling me that sex and gender are different. And then they're going to tell me that the baby's born as a certain sex, and then they choose the gender. But if you misgender somebody who's old enough to speak and understand, then you get yelled at. It's like you can't say, I can't believe you misgendered. What if the baby didn't want to be the gender that you assigned it at birth? You just stepped on your own tongue. No, I'm not marring your argument. You said that. You said it. You said they're born a certain sex and assigned a gender. Who decided the gender? Because apparently it's supposed to be up to the person, the human being, to decide their own gender ideology, right? But if you decide for them, isn't that fascism? Gee, yeah, you can't, I bet. I'm telling you, it's like, it's fucking nuts. Who's gonna sit there and say that? You just completely destroyed gender ideology with that one statement. You completely destroyed it. Your soapbox collapsed underneath you. This conversation's done. If you act a certain way, dress a certain way, society will treat you accordingly. If you act like a woman and dress like a woman, but you're a man, they're not going to treat you like a woman. They're going to treat you like what? You just did it again. The people who want to be labeled as trans, right? Again, you just stepped on somebody's ideology. So they're born as a man, but they want to act like a woman and dress like a woman. And if you treat them like a woman, but they don't want to be identified as one, so you're assuming their gender is what you're doing. Do you see how diluted that ideology becomes when you do that? When you start tearing it apart? No, what you're saying is if they act a certain way and they dress a certain way, they should be treated a certain way. What you're saying is they should be treated as a woman, but they don't want to be treated as a woman. They want to be treated as a member of the trans organization. They don't even care about the fact that it's boy being a woman or a woman being a boy or dressing or changing or whatever. It's the fact that they belong to a community, a trans community, right? It has nothing to do with the specific gender they're associating with. They just want to be able to associate with something that they're not. And then you go back to what? What you just said. The baby's born a certain sex and then assigned a gender? I don't know. That sounds a little bit like, a contradiction. Oh, so you never said should. That's just what society does. So that alleviates you of any guilt of anything that you just said. You see how this ideology just falls apart when you start picking at it? When you start pulling out the cards that are holding up the table, and then you find out that it's not really anything at all except an idea. I'm sorry I had to put it to you that way, but it is what it is. What is being discussed? Boy, did you come in late. Welcome to it, David. You'd be amazed. If you scroll up, you'll see there's a lot. What does my ego have to do with it? I thought you were talking about gender and ideology and other stuff like this, and now you're talking about my ego? Wow. Thanks for recognizing my ego. Appreciate that. See, this is exactly what I expect somebody who had lost the argument to say. Well, it's okay. You did it wrong. You said it wrong. You may have misspoken and you tripped over your feet. It's fine. I have no idea what Ethan's talking about. Ethan, elaborate, please, on those three wives. You talking about the ones that passed away, or are you I mean, what about them?
I'm right here.
She's right there. I'm in the shop where I do most of my work. She's actually in the house. Oh yeah, there's a lot of different stuff, man. There's a lot of different stuff going on. Like I originally I get online to get to know people and to find, just to meet people. My content is not even close to what we're discussing on the lives, but I make it very clear that when we do the lives like this, it's to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And for me to get to know you, for you to get to know me, that kind of thing. Whether you like me or not, doesn't matter. I don't dislike any one of you. I don't hate anyone. I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy the debate. A lot of people, like like Aztec just mentioned, like to see it as ego rather than debate. But if you read through, you'll see why she was wrong. Yes, that's quick. You are either born a girl or a boy. And then if you looked up at what Aztec had said, she literally said that when a baby is born, it's born a certain sex and then assigned a gender, which then takes away the baby's right to choose one later on. Tell me how that works. What do I do in the workshop? Oh, well, I build very large drones. And I'm building an A10 Warthog right now. This is a test fan. I actually have a 5 foot by 5 foot drone over there that has 4 of these fans in it. And I've tested this one and like throwing stuff into it and it still survived. So, yeah. I'm building a quad that I can pretty much ride wherever I want to. Like literally off-road. What second part, Aztec? A lot of people just say that they are a gender neutral, etc. Why can't they say they are a dog or a donkey? It doesn't make sense to them. But it's okay for them to change sex. That's a good point. That's a very good point. No, I'm not racist. I don't understand why I would ask that. You know what's funny? I love it when people ask me that question. And I think it's just because I'm white, and it's ironic because it's from a white person that's asking me that, I assume. No, I'm not racist. Never have been, never will be. I have no problem with any other. An individual defines themselves by their actions, not by the color of their skin. If they do define themselves by the color of their skin because they're proud of their culture, that's cool. Anybody's down with that. Anybody who isn't down with that, that's just wrong. But if somebody, for example, does something illegal, then gets put in jail for it, and then blames being in jail on their race rather than their actions, that's just ignorance. Yes, I bet you are, Charlie Kirkson. Oh, my Lord. Another troll.
Well, sit with the rest of them. They're all over there trying to figure out arguments. Who ended up a live streamer? I'm not actually a live streamer. I mean, I am live streaming, but I just do this occasionally. Get educated. So, I have a degree. You know that, right? In engineering. Okay. Just want to make sure you know that. That's why I do experimental propulsion, and I share some of the designs and stuff that I do on YouTube that I can share. And I'm actually competing in the DARPA Lift Challenge, which is something I'm very excited about. They had a logistics issue that they wanted to try and solve, so they opened up the door for a lot of us creators to get in and actually design something, and I did. I've submitted the paper, and we're just waiting on, I think it's in June is when the actual competition is, so it should be fairly interesting. What I can tell you about it is it's about they didn't want a standard 1-to-1 thrust to weight ratio in order to move supplies. So the trick is, and these are the rules, they're really tight rules. So you've got a drone that can only, it has to be part 107 compliant, so it can only be 55 pounds. So but they want you to move 110 pounds 4 nautical miles and then drop it at a specific point and then come back 1 more nautical mile unloaded and land. Well, I designed a drone that can do that with energy reserves left, so I'm very, very excited for this project. I can't wait to actually do the competition, and I hope I win the thing. I really do. The math checks out, so it's all going to be about real world scenario. We all know that the math and static thrust and all that other stuff can tell a story, but when it really comes down to real world situations, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see this drone in action. And I wish I could show it to you, but I can't because it's a proprietary design and it's not something that I can share yet. Although if we film the actual competition in June, I'll be happy to show that video afterwards if DARPA lets me. It's going to be all up to them, really. So they've actually opened up, like I said, to everyone. It's not just corporations that can actually compete. So I really, like I said, I hope I get to the point where I can show you the video afterwards because that will be very interesting. It'll be a lot of fun to show that. So fingers crossed that I win this thing because it's not just about the money for it or winning. It's about the contracts that come afterwards. I'll be honest with you. Working for DARPA, I think, would be fun for me. A lot of fun. Oh, CHS, you poor thing. I appreciate the compliments. I do. Yes, conservatives are educated. I appreciate the joke. Yes. Basically, the entire idea behind my channel is experimental propulsion, but it's also about entertainment. There's a lot of stuff that I build and fly just to see if I can defy the physics of what it is that I've built. And in the end, sometimes things crash. And then others, they don't. Like the small Shrike 70mm EDF drone. That one was so much fun. You can see that in the Shrike concept drone. Just look up Shrike Maiden. Shrike Maiden. And you'll see it. It's the one that's unedited with no sound. And it kind of shows the whole flight of that platform. And that one was a lot of fun to do because a lot of people thought it was impractical. And I didn't care that they thought it was impractical. It was fun. That was the whole point. Can I get it to work in 6S? Yes. 22.2 volts? Yes. While other people are out there trying it and blowing capacitors on their stacks, I did it. And I flew it, and I flew it well, and I flew it for a while on that one battery. And I'm telling you, it was a good feeling. So I can't wait for the next drone, the Strike Ultra SAROP. That's the search and rescue operations platform that I'm putting together for obviously search and rescue operations, fire mitigation, law enforcement, things like that, riot control. So once that platform's done, that'll be submitted. That one was also submitted to DARPA, but that was outside of the project, the scope of the actual lift challenge. It's just meant to be a larger lift capacity drone. So, but basically the idea behind all of this is to find a new means of propulsion. And I do, the next drone that I'm doing is a quad that I can actually ride. I've actually told you that already. It's about the size of an off-road quad, but it's inducted fan engines, high-speed turbines. But everything's inside the body, and it's all electric. It's not going to run on kerosene fuel turbines like that Volanaut bike, because that guy's not banking. I'm telling you right now, if you watch any of those videos, he's not banking past a couple degrees, or he'll flip over. Unless you're pulling 5Gs around a corner. But the whole idea is to go electric so that we can implement hydrogen in the build. Hydrogen for a hybrid afterburner, in a sense, for a larger ship later on that I can't really talk about, but the quad is going to use hydrogen for power using a fuel cell, just like most vehicles do. And it's going to run 4 large turbines, probably bigger than the 340 millimeters I'm using, although I could probably use the 340s in an 11 blade configuration, as long as the disc loading is good and I've got a proper motor and I'm generating enough power and it can handle the amps. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. But I am designing an off-road quad, like literally an off-road quad. Coal power drones. I mean, technically, if they are coal powered, right? If you're charging LiPo batteries at home and your house is powered by coal, you know, they technically are coal powered. The max lift on which one? Are you talking about Aztec? Oh, the big quad right now? The one I've got sitting over there is still running off. Hold on. I'll show it to you. I just got to drag it over here. 472 pounds. Just hold on. Let me go get it. The one, this is the prototype, so hold on a second. Gotta get some room here for it. Oh, it's a monster to move. Oh. Okay, there you go. Whew. Okay. The Strike Ultra, everyone. And this one was designed for the purpose of demonstration. So I put 1,440 LEDs in it. And I'm only going to power up half of them because I only have one buck converter hooked up. So basically, when this thing flies, you'll get your first UFO sighting, right? Around this area. 340 millimeter 11 blade high pass fans. Again, I have to hook up the other buck converter for those. I could probably power those. The Arduino board's hooked up for it. but if something, I don't know if anything came loose. I don't have a power supply long enough. So I can't power up the bottom lights right now. But there's going to be some inside the body as well. It's going to use a Maytech H743 flight controller. It runs on 18S, uses MAG components, 120 amp 18S ESCs, FlipSky 7070 motors, which are being swapped out for the IP35 50 kVs, and they're going to be run on a pulley, which is going to give me a lot more thrust. But the problem is the pulleys don't work really that well with flight controllers. Direct drive is more efficient because of the fact that you can, well, basically, a pulley changes the dynamic when it comes to flight control. A direct drive is what you want to go for when it comes to an EDF. So the idea is to make sure that the EDF has a direct drive motor that can handle the torque of the disc loading of these blades. So that's the whole reason behind that. So I ran the 7070 FlipSkys, and at 48 volts, they ran really well. You can see tests that I have done on individual engines in the playlist for this on the channel page. And the once I ran 75 volts though through those motors, which was what they were rated for, I cooked them. So I am running the MAG components 18 cell 120 amp AMPX ESCs. They do use drone can, so that's going to work well with the Maytech H743 on the flight controller side. It runs on 3 of the 10,000 milliamp Z batteries, and that's just for flight worthiness. It's going to run on a hydrogen fuel cell afterwards. This will lift 472 pounds, not on the PETG blades. I'm not gonna try and convince you of that, obviously. It'll lift itself easy enough, and probably 50, 60 more pounds with those. Now, once I get a desktop CNC where I can do my blade geometry out of alloy, then we're gonna go with 7075, and we're going to do the hub. Because each one of these blades, even the short blades, the torrent blades that are designed to cool the motor, everything is separate. Obviously, this was all printed on one Bamboo Lab X1 carbon out of 28 kilograms of PETG. So what I want to do is keep the body PETG for now for testing, but I want to alloy my blade system and drive system. That's what I want to do. So I want to get something like a Carvera from Makira or a Pinta machine, something that has the volume, because the largest volume is about 5.5 inches on the blade geometry, but I really need a 5-axis system to get it cut. So, and these blades have spun up, like I said, close to 5,000 RPMs, 6,000 RPMs at 48 volts. But the blades are friction fit. When I CAD modeled this in Fusion, I used no glue. So basically these blades are slotted into place into the hub, and then it's held on, and then after they're tapped in, the main shaft that goes through the stator at the rear where the bearing hub is actually what holds the blades into place. That gives this hub, which is printed with 8 walls on the external and a gyroidal infill of 50%, it gives it the ability to creep. So it can expand where it needs to. And that's why there's a little bit more than 5 millimeters of gap. Now that's kind of inefficient when it comes to EDF inducted work, but there's a few millimeters of creep that happens with the PETG. Now with the alloy blades, I'm not going to have to worry about that, so I'll sleeve this ducting to where it's actually less than a millimeter of clearance. But we want to make sure that these blades don't hit the fan casing while we're doing our testing and our airworthiness test. So you have to be careful of that. So that's one of the reasons why it was designed that way. This forward stabilization bearing, is necessary right now, but won't be necessary when I actually do the alloyed blade, because it's actually using a tapered roller bearing off of, you know, the front axles of cars to keep that fan stable. And then once everything is alloyed, then what will end up happening is this fan won't require this forward stabilization bearing. Now, I could leave it there for safety, but it does block some airflow. That's very minimal what it does block, but it does block some. And no part is the best part. So if I can get rid of this part here with the tapered roller bearings that I have back there now, and an alloyed shaft and an alloyed hub and blades, we're going to basically make the whole system 100% more efficient. And that's the whole goal behind this. So this can lift, with an alloy blade, this can lift me easily. And I can go wherever I want to. I will make this about maybe 1/3 to 2/3 bigger when I make the quad size one that I'm going to be riding. So, yeah. And of course the body will encompass the fan. We're going to make sure that the mass airflow that goes in is not obstructed by the protection, and that the body's actual design has the inputs to allow enough air in to where we don't restrict anything over the intake lip, or not actually choking the engine out. So that we have the right amount of air input, but it's still protected by a slotted system around the outside, so nothing can get pulled in substantially that could hurt it. And of course we'll have a cage around that so that nothing gets pulled in. But we want to make sure the volume of air that's going in at the maximum RPM is matched by the body's geometry, but still is sleek enough to kind of flow together with the body and the seating and the control system, so that when this becomes a rideable unit, that it's completely protected. So you've got just air going out the bottom, there's no exposed blades at the top, and you can basically go around a corner without flipping out. You can bank. The actual engines on the finished product will gimbal. So there's a gimbal point. There'll be a gimbal arm on each one of these engines that allows those, like if you're taking a right-hand turn, those right-hand engines can bank out slightly. So you're turning, just like you would on a drone, you're going to turn and bank, but you're going to be able to gimbal those engines out so that it can push you around that corner without having to acquire so many G-forces to make the turn. Now you could just go and yaw turn, which would keep the body level and straight. But if you're doing a fast turn, you need to do a bank. You want to make sure that the engines can gimbal slightly, and that'll keep you in that turn and give you the appropriate G-forces necessary to maintain stabilization in the turn and then coming out of the turn. So that's basically what the whole principle is behind this. Hi besties, how you doing? Sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking. Yeah, I do have to obey airspace with this. This has a tail number, and before I do any testing, I have to have an observer on site. I have to have Part 107, which has to be a 4088, which is basically an add-on to the Part 107 rule, because this is over 55 pounds. So it's basically, yeah, this has to, I mean, I've got clearance for this up to 400 feet in my location, and I'm not around, I'm in the suburb of suburbs, so there's not a lot around me. And eventually I want to get some land of my own where I'm out on my own, you know, a little bit farther out, so that I can do a little bit more experimentation. Because once this moves to hydrogen hybrids, for the much larger vessel, it's been designed, but I conceptualized, but I can't really build it in the shop that I have now, because I need a landing pad. And that's not because I'm building a quad, it's because I'm building something much bigger. So because it's a hydrogen hybrid, I want to be outside city limits farther so that I have my own shop and I have, noise mitigation, that kind of thing. Close enough to town for supplies, but other than that, that's what it is. But that's what my channel is all about. And I have enjoyed the conversation that we've had. It's been fun. We have our differences of opinions, but we're all human beings, and we should all remember that. And, when it comes down to it, no matter what your views are, if somebody's coming after you and I'm there to stop it. It doesn't matter what you believe. I do I protect my community. When people are tagging, I go out and I paint over it. And if people are harassing other people, I put a stop to it. I just think that with the way we've lost a lot of our humanity lately, by trading it for ideology, then I think at least some people need to stand up and say they're all still human. They don't deserve punishment. Let them make their own choices. Let them make their own decisions. But let them do it in the safety of a country that has given them the freedom to do so, even if our ideas don't line up. But let's keep it safe. Let's make sure that we don't have people that are not counted. Let's make sure the dangerous people are where they should be. And let's make sure our children know what our values actually are, and that those values are based in something pure for their future, because they are the ones that are going to run this country, and they're going to be having to deal with what we've left behind. So let's not mess up our own house. Let's not leave them a mess to deal with. And that should be the message. So I hope everyone's enjoyed the conversation. I'm going to end the stream here because it's getting late. But I've enjoyed each and every one of you. I hope none of you took any offense to who I am or what I'm about. But the one thing I'll always be is genuine with you when it comes to that. And I hope that you enjoy my future content, even if you don't align with me politically. We are still human beings. And I was tasked with protecting this country when I became a soldier, and I'll continue to do so. So, with that being said, I thank you all for stopping by and watching. If I didn't get to any of your questions, I apologize. We'll get to them. We'll read through and get to them on the replay. If you have any specific questions, you can email me. My email is on my channel page. You can join up, become a member. You can do whatever you like. If you wish to donate, you can. It doesn't matter to me. Everything I get goes back into my work anyway. So, again, I appreciate all those who did stick around and watch. You've been wonderful. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Be safe out there. And for those who are in the colder states, please do your best to stay warm and don't take any unnecessary risks. Love you all, and I thank you all for being here today. Have a good evening, everyone. I've been DPC. Peace out. If I can shut this off. Give me my phone. Okay. Ugh. Say bye, drone.